Hi, so today I'm finishing my reaction to the Royal Marine series On the Front Line. This is episode 8, Royal Marines to Your Duties. Let's get to it.
After 30 weeks of training, the remnants of 924 Troop launched themselves on the grueling Commando tests.
3, 2, 1,
Those that pass will win their green berets and the right to serve on the front line in Afghanistan.
up here. Back, green 1.
Already in Afghanistan is Second Lieutenant Bertie Carr, who after months of unrelenting fighting is having to come to terms with the tragic loss of one of his men.
It was during a big attack on an enemy position. Tom was the first into the attack and was killed very early on. He died straight away.
So sad. If you want to help the channel out, I would appreciate if you actually watch this video to the very end, or you could always use a like, sub, share, comment. All those things do help the channel, so thank you. And if you have actually watched this entire series with me, then I really appreciate it, so thank you.
"924 Troop started with 50 recruits. 25 have been back-trooped, that is, put into a more junior troop because of injury or not being up to standard, and 19 have left altogether. That means out of the original 50, only 9 have survived the training to this point.
I'm gutted to have lost so many. I think the troop is almost cursed. I mean, the amount of lads we've lost from injury and illness is quite uncanny.
Injury has followed upon injury, but one recruit so far undamaged is James Williams, who along with his fellow originals and a handful of extra back troop recruits must now attempt to pass the 4 grueling commando tests to earn his green beret. The first test is the punishing endurance run, 6 miles of rough terrain and flooded tunnels.
Straight through. Williams, if you walk, you resign yourself to failure. Need to pass this, Williams. Get running.
Shit, my fucking thighs. Oh.
If you walk, then you're going to fail. That is good motivation.
Before joining up, James had been a qualified plasterer and electrician in Civvy Street.
Let's go, Williams!
Civvy
But
Street?
8 months ago, he reckoned there was more to life than just doing up other people's houses.
If I died at 70 years old, having a comfortable life, you know, cracking on, earning a bit of money doing this, and the most exciting thing I had to tell someone was, you know, I wired a massive mansion or, you know, rented a big house, you know, or if I went at, say, 30, but I had a good life and, you know, I had stories to tell.
You prefer that?
Yeah, definitely. Life's for living, innit?
I think it's really good for James. Really good for James, yeah. I mean, when he first said he was going to do it, I was, you know, because of Afghanistan and everything else, obviously, you want your children close, don't you?
Yeah, of course.
But when he first mentioned, I will be going to Afghanistan, I had been told that, I was really choked, and I thought, I said to you, didn't I? I said, I don't want you to go there. And he said, what do you mean you don't want me to go there? You know, I will be going there, I can't wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be fine. Yeah.
Bullets bounce off commandos anyway. Bullets bounce off commandos.
3, 2, 1, go! Pull him out, turn him round. Pick him up.
From the beginning, James never doubted he would make it through training.
I think that obstacle on that course is called the sheep dip. But if you want to see Gordon Ramsay do that, I'll link a video at the end.
You enjoying yourself?
I am enjoying myself, sir.
Why?
Because I know in 8 months' time I'll be a commando.
Let's go, Williams! Yeah. Well done, you. Go on.
Now, almost a commando, James grits his teeth for the 6 torturous miles of the endurance run. The next day, he undergoes the 9-mile speed march. So unrelenting, it claims 3 more originals, hospitalised with exhaustion.
Get step now. Do not see the people off behind you. Suck it in.
The originals are now down to a mere 6. One of them is James Williams, still hanging on in there.
3, 2, 1. Move! 1, 2, move!
And so to the third test, the Tarzan assault course, a body-crunching set of obstacles tackled at height and at speed. Eight months ago, the recruits would have found this impossible, but can now boast the fitness levels of an international athlete.
Williams, jump in there. Williams, stop!
That's 3 out of 4 done and passed. But James must now face the final and most extreme of the Commando tests. After packing in the calories, a back-breaking 30-mile route march across treacherous moorland.
This is for you the culmination of 9 months training. Blood, sweat and tears for every one of you. Only 8 hours now stands between you and getting a green beret. What you will join, men, at the end of this is the biggest fucking boys club in the world, okay? The biggest and the best. If at any time you feel that you want to give up, do not. Take one more small step, tell yourself you'll give up a mile later, then a mile later. 30 miles, 8 hours.
The recruits know that those who pass this and win the Green Beret could be sent to Afghanistan within days to replace battlefield casualties that have been mounting.
We got a gun team in.
Second Lieutenant Bertie Carr has been in Afghanistan now for 3 months.
There's a casualty in, yeah, that's it. I thought we'd been hit in the chest. Fucking grim.
He has seen many injuries on the front line. He's also witnessed the death of one of his own men. Tom Curry was a massive Marine, known to everyone as Vinders. A fine rugby player, Tom often doubled up as a sort of human battering ram.
Get out for Vinders.
That is the same Marine that I called the Kool-Aid Man in the previous episode. So that's just heartbreaking.
Out we go, left.
Out, move. Good effort, lads.
But 1 week after I filmed him demolishing this wall, he was dead.
It was during a big attack on an enemy position. Tom was the first into the attack and was killed very early on. He died straight away. But as it was right at the beginning of the attack, we still had the whole position to clear, which the guys did, to their credit, although they knew that they'd lost their friend. They'd seen him be killed. They carried on fighting.
Even though it wasn't his fault, I'm sure he feels guilty just because he was their commander. He was their LT, and that's something that's probably just going to live with him forever, unfortunately.
I knew it was Tom straight away. I was shouting to the lads, like, lads, give him first aid. Them first aiders knew that he was dead, but I didn't know instantly. Once we had retreated then, back into the wadi with Tom on a stretcher, that's when I broke down in tears and I couldn't carry him, I couldn't do nothing, I just had to stay on my own, and my mate Richie was comforting me quite well.
Sometimes it's been like a bad dream, like. It's not been nice watching your friends die around you, like. We're young guys, we should be growing old, watching our friends die around us when we're old, like. Not at this age.
Everyone that will come out of training, come straight out here, will be eager for action, but they learn that it's not as nice as it may look.
Everyone had lost a good friend. As a troop commander, it was hard anyway, but the fact that I'd lost a bloody good Marine just meant that my troop was that much weaker.
Marines trained to be frontline soldiers, always ready to step into the breach when needed.
Dig deep, lad, come on. That's it, Sparks. Keep closed up, you're doing strong so far. Strong effort by everyone.
It wasn't long ago, of course, that Tom Curry completed the 30-miler to earn his own Green Beret.
How many pounds are they carrying?
Running through the moor, trying to get his green lead.
924 Troop dig deep. 30 miles is a long way across Dartmoor with 40 pounds of kit, but a determination learnt over the last 30 weeks is a powerful fuel.
Not going to give up now. Come too far to give up.
Last little push, this syndicate. The final leg, yeah, this is it.
That terrain is
The
horrible.
Humpback Bridge is the finishing line of the 30-miler and the 32 weeks of the hardest military training in the world. The Green Beret has been a long time coming.
So what would you choose to do? Would you choose to do 30 miles carrying a 40-pound ruck on that horrible train, or would you choose to run 62 miles carrying 40 pounds running on cement roads in the mountains? Because that's what the Indian Army para-SF recruits actually do. Me personally, I don't think I would choose either one. Both tests seem horrible. But what would you choose?
So how'd you find that?
That was the hardest thing I've ever done, sir.
Was it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you sure?
Yes, sir.
So if we had to turn around now and do it again, can you do it?
For one of them, yes, sir.
With it on your head?
Yes, sir.
Well done. Good lad. Right answer.
Cliff Williams.
Thank you, sir.
Of the 6 originals who've won their Green Berets and who will pass out as Royal Marine Commandos in a week's time, 2 have been told that they will be sent immediately to Afghanistan as urgent casualty replacements for Bertie Carr's unit. One of them is Mark Blight from Warrington. The other is James Williams.
I knew I'd be going. It was a bit of a shock how abrupt it would be, but no, once you come around to it, it's cool, and I'm actually looking forward to it now. You're going to make new friends and there's going to be new faces, but yeah, for a while, I guess, I don't know how it's going to be. You know, I've not done this before.
What's your mum say? What's your mum think?
At first, she was a bit, you know, you could tell in her voice every time you spoke about it, she just didn't want to talk about it, you know. And she phones me up, another Marine died. Oh, another Marine died, but I don't know. What'd you say? How many people got run over today?
I'm really pleased that he's done it, and I'm really proud of him. Really proud of him, but the big but is, goes away to Afghanistan. Just lately, whenever I watch the news, it is another Marine. And there was one recently, wasn't there, as well, a young one that died on...
So this is Marine Williams.
Marine Williams, well done. Congratulations indeed. Good. What did you find toughest?
I'm not bothered about going out there. You know, I'm not under any illusions about it, but, you know, it's what you... I joined up to be a Royal Marine Commando and do this stuff. But my only concern's Mum. That is my only concern, Mum. In my eyes, I'm now a trained Royal Marine Commando. You know, one of the Queen's soldiers, ready to go and fight for the Queen.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Doing your duty.
Yeah, but doing something that I love.
Royal Marines, to your duties! Quick march!
If I was to choose a career for James, it wouldn't be a Royal Marine for me. But I do know that he's loving it. He said, I'm actually doing something that I really, really love. He said, so please, don't worry about me. It will be okay. And if anything did happen, then please remember that I wanted to do it. So, have to respect that.
Let's go back, clear, take off, confirm. Confirm. Everybody happy? Confirm.
A 7-hour flight separates James Williams from the war zone his 32 weeks of training has prepared him for. Camp Price, built in the desert of southern Afghanistan and a frequent target of Taliban mortar and rocket attack.
Attached to us we have, lads, attached to us we have 4 CIMIC, is that correct?
Bertie Carr briefs his men for a patrol into the nearby town of
One
Gereshk.
side, Sergeant Taylor.
Newly arrived is Marine James Williams, a mere week out of training.
Right, the situation, no change. Enemy force activity continues on the outskirts of Gereshk, with checkpoints coming under sporadic attacks. Int reports suggest enemy forces are intent on further attacks in the area. It's my intent to conduct a foot patrol through the centre of Gereshk and patrol down through the south of the town and be picked up by the vehicles to return to Price. Be prepared to defeat any enemy encountered. Any questions?
Arthur, you all set? Yeah, you're good to go? Looking forward to it?
Yeah, I just want to get some. I want to get some experience under the belt, you know.
This one should be an easy patrol. You might hear a bit of sporadic gunfire from a distance, but it shouldn't be anything to worry about. Yeah, nothing, no harder than what you've done before.
Should be nothing to worry about. Famous last words. You don't want to jinx yourself.
This time it's real bullets.
Nowhere is safe from enemy attack, so the convoy proceeds with caution. The big threat to vehicle movements are roadside bombs, so every gunner scans the desert around them, knowing that the Taliban are indistinguishable from civilians who look on with suspicion and probably fear. Patrolling the streets of Gereshk, partly a deterrent to any Taliban in the area, but it's also an opportunity to meet and greet the locals. Floppy hats are the order of the day, less aggressive than helmets. And as always, those most willing to break the ice are the children, who just want to shake hands. Bertie, this is just to show a friendly presence, is it?
Yeah, it is pretty much. Yeah, just to give them a bit of reassurance. So it's been a bit of fighting on the outskirts. There hasn't been fighting in the centre of Gereshk for quite a long time. So hopefully it'll stay that way.
So seeing those kids does remind me of my time in Baghdad, when we would see a lot of these dirty, hungry, and malnourished kids barefoot walking up to our gate looking for food. And being on guard duty, we were not allowed to interact at all. We just kind of had to shoo them away, which I do still feel bad about. But I do have some great memories of interacting and helping some of the injured and hurt kids in the hospital. And even today, 20 years later, I do often think about those children and just wonder how they're actually faring today.
Kids seem really friendly. Hopefully they'll if they all grow up with the same attitudes and that, then the country will get on just fine, won't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Every day, the Marines go on patrol into the desert, into the villages, and into the poppy fields. There has to be a constant show of strength, both to deter the enemy, as well as to reassure a frightened and often bewildered people.
You heard that?
Yeah, I heard that, mate. Heard the crack.
You heard the whiz up here?
Did you hear the crack?
Yeah.
Yeah, gunshot.
Even in this seemingly benign environment, someone's taken a pot shot and run. This is, after all, bandit country, dangerous, lawless. Most Afghanis just want peace and to get on with their lives, but in Helmand especially, few are ever far from battle. These gunners are firing on an enemy position some 12 miles away. And James, now a month into his deployment, takes his turn on sentry duty, as the Taliban are never far away and can strike without warning.
It's weird because, God, this time last year I was shivering on some building site, fed up with bloody clipping another cable to another joist. And now, 1 year on, it's probably about 30 degrees. in another country with a fucking loaded weapon in a war zone. It's weird, isn't it? Life is pretty strange.
With James on sentry duty, Bertie leaves with the rest of his troop for an outlying district. They are heavily armed and, as ever, wary of enemy attack. And their mission?
All right, lads, how's it going?
A school visit to meet the very people that the Taliban will want to start recruiting before they're too much older.
You want to try it on?
Are there any girls?
This is a chance for the Royal Marines to commune with young Afghanis and introduce them to a few of their own tribal rituals.
Ah, you're drawing war pictures.
I don't see any girls. I think since the United States pulled out of Afghanistan in that shameful, embarrassing incident that I'm not even going to go into, I think the Taliban actually instituted the law that after 6th grade that girls can no longer go to school, which is very unfortunate.
Pictures of tanks shooting at other tanks, which are all being shot at by Chinooks, by helicopters. Did you do this one? Yeah? Tank.
This is Taliban.
Taliban. Boo. Boo. Yeah. Boo. Right. I've got to go. 1 second.
Being a soldier in Afghanistan is as much about hearts and minds as it is about bullets and bombs. Either way, it's an immense challenge.
Being out here is what I wanted to do, and no doubt I'll probably come out here plenty more times. But the worst bit for me, just having my dear mum sit at home, worrying every day. I hate her being like that. Because I hate the thought of my mum sitting at home worrying every day. She's such a special woman to me, and just the thought of her just not being, always constantly worrying and going through that, it's the worst bit. But at the same time, I can't give this up.
The war against the Taliban, we are told, could rage for the next 30 years. Future British soldiers who will have to fight in this conflict have yet to start training, yet to leave school, yet to be born. But all who come out here will be eager to do their duty.
The lads have said, they're sick, what they've gone through, but they don't want to go through it again. But I've yet to go through that. As wanting to be a Royal Marine Commando, you joined up for all that. Yeah. You want the action. Yeah. And I've not got my fix out here yet.
You still want it? You're still hungry?
Yeah, I want the deliberate ops. I want the rounds coming past me. Maybe when it all happens, I'll be like some of the guys back in the grot saying, "No, that's enough for me now."
I'd like to think it hasn't changed us all too much. I suppose I'd be very naive to think it hasn't changed us at all. The things that we've seen and the things that we've had to do are certainly going to have an effect, yeah. But I like to think that the way we deal with it, by supporting each other and talking about it, reduces any negative effects that it may have. There's a good system of looking after each other. And that will continue when we get back. And I'd like to think that, if anything, then it's just changed us for the better.
He absolutely loved the Marines. He couldn't believe that he'd get paid for doing something that he loved. And he liked that camaraderie. It's what he wanted to do. And I couldn't stop him. You can't say you can't do this. But I didn't think at the time that it would be such a difficult environment, which it proved to be. He was regarded as a perfect Marine, so I thought that, you know, he could cater for those situations, but you can never cater for a random situation, which is exactly how he was killed. But, you know, you're a proud father of someone who became a Royal Marine, and the best Royal Marine on the day. So yes, very proud.
God bless his family.
Out of the 50 recruits who arrived to join 924 Troop, 21 have now passed out as Royal Marine Commandos. 3 are still in training. Bertie Carr is now a troop commander at the Commando training base in Lympston. And today, November the 5th, 2007, James Williams is back out in Afghanistan on his second tour of duty as a commando on the front line.
And let's not forget Training Officer Orlando Rogers, I think. A few years after this was filmed, he was actually killed in a buddy's plane in a crash. So my heart goes out to all those families. Such a sad way to end the series, but my utmost respect to the filmmakers actually going out there to Afghanistan to film them. In the first episode, Chris had said that this was the most difficult military training in the world, and I said that I was going to hold off judgment until I finished the entire series. When I define difficult military training, I usually go by attrition rate. U.S. Air Force PJs, United States Navy SEALs, Norway Long Range Recon Patrol, Indian Army Para-SF. Their attrition rate ranges from 75 to 90%, whereas the Royal Marines attrition rate is closer to 60%. So I don't think that this is the most difficult military training in the world. However, I do think it is definitely one of the toughest. My utmost respect goes out to all Marines as well as all the lads who even attempted this course. If you do want to see 55-year-old filmmaker Chris Terrill actually attempt the Commando tests, then I'll put that video right here the first week of January. This is the Indian Army Para-SF. Down below is Gordon Ramsay, and this is the Norway Long Range Recon guys.